Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we have a lot to talk about on the Bitcoin chart because in today's video I want to analyze exactly why Bitcoin hasn't been really doing a whole lot over the last week and a half ever since our October 25th rally. Why has Bitcoin been trading sideways so much? You know, Bitcoin rallied 45% a day. We'd think that Bitcoin would be more bullish by now and not just moving around 1 or 2% over the last 10 days. But that's not what's been happening. Bitcoin has been trading sideways for nearly 2 weeks now. So in today's video we're going to be looking at moving average, exponential moving averages, VPVR, MACD, RSI, longs, shorts, Rsi Divergence, and even some news coming out of China to try and explain why Bitcoin is trading sideways and why I personally think that's going to end in the month of November and why very big things could be coming following that ending. Guys, I think we got a great video lined up for you today. If you guys do enjoy today's video, please consider hitting that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and if you don't do it, I might just have to make you crash your motorcycle, and trust me, you don't want that to happen to you. But anyway, guys, without much further ado and without much more self-mockery, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that makes you wait 7 minutes into the video to actually explain the title. I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the major reasons why Bitcoin is trading sideways here. It has to do with the 100 daily simple moving average and the 200 daily simple moving average. As you can see, guys, as the 200 DSMA has been climbing up, Bitcoin too has been climbing to the upside. It's been setting higher lows, and at the same time, it's been setting relatively similar highs as Bitcoin is also testing resistance at the 100 daily simple moving average. Now, this is important. You can see that these two moving averages are forming sort of a long-term flag here. We had these trend lines drawn from several days ago, and Bitcoin just traded straight sideways out of them. Bitcoin didn't care about those trend lines. What it does seem to care about are these two moving averages. And for those of you in the Academy, I want to direct your attention to this video right down here, continuation patterns, and also the video on wedges and pennants. In those videos, we talk about how wedges, pennants, consolidation patterns, continuation patterns, they don't just have to be comprised by trend lines. They can also be comprised by moving averages. What we're seeing right now, guys, is a major bull flag being formed by two long-term moving averages, which isn't something you see very often, but is very possible. But why is that important? Well, one, these two moving averages are going to come together much more slowly than any trend line that we draw is going to. And two, because when Bitcoin gets above the 100 daily simple moving average, big things are going to happen. That's why all those other technical indicators I mentioned at the beginning of the video are going to come into play today. Because I do personally think Bitcoin is going to break bullish here. I do personally think Bitcoin is going to break out. But the way that that breakout plays out is going to depend very heavily on the rest of the technicals that we need to look at in today's video. But first, let's take a walk down memory lane and look at the history of Bitcoin, because something like this with these two specific moving averages on this interval has never really happened before. If we look back in history, as you can see, Bitcoin has been in between these two moving averages and in fact used them as support and resistance quite frequently. We see this happen all the time. In fact, back in 2017 and even on into 2016, the 100 daily simple moving average was a major level of support, but you don't ever really find in history that Bitcoin is stuck between these two moving averages in the way that it is right now. Maybe you could consider this over here something that we're talking about, maybe this. Point being, Bitcoin hasn't really seen something like this before. And the reason that this is so important, guys, is not because Bitcoin rallied 45%. It's not because I think Bitcoin's going to break to the upside. It's because of one moving average in particular, and I'll turn the one that doesn't matter as much off. Believe it or not, the 200 daily simple moving average is actually the less important moving average right now, primarily because we've already gotten back up above it. The one that's actually important here is the 100 daily simple moving average. Let me show you exactly why. Look at the 2016-17 bull market. Check out what's going on here, guys. Every time Bitcoin had a pullback during this bull market, it would come down to or just below the 100 daily simple moving average. It'd get support and it would continue the rally even higher. Pretty much every single time it did that. But notice when Bitcoin was jumping up and down above and below the 100 daily simple moving average, we weren't in a bull market. We were in an accumulation phase. That's not really where I want to be personally. I want to be in a bull market. And to finish out the history lesson, look at what Bitcoin is doing when it's primarily below the 100 daily simple moving average. It's in a bear market. The reason that what we're looking at right now is so important, guys, is because if Bitcoin Bart Simpson's down here and rejects off of the 100 DSMA, then we've set a precedent that Bitcoin is not headed to the upside, that Bitcoin is not going to start a new bull market, that Bitcoin is not going to continue the one that we're already in. Instead, we're going to be telling the bears, you guys are in charge, you guys are in control, do what you will with us, pretty much. Even if that includes pushing us down to $6,000. So yes, guys, it is important what Bitcoin does here. It is important that Bitcoin breaks to the upside, because if Bitcoin breaks this 100 daily simple moving average, which I personally think it will over the next 2 to 3 weeks or so, sometime in November, then the rest of our analysis here kicks into play, because there's quite a bit of bullish technical analysis right now and quite a bit of bullish fundamentals as well, guys. One of the first things I want to mention is Rsi Divergence. You guys, especially if you're in the Academy, you will know how important Rsi Divergence is. There's an entire video on it in CT2A for that reason, and if you'll tune your attention to the chart right here, I will show you that there is in fact RSI divergence on the daily chart with our downtrending levels of support right here and our uptrending levels of support down here on the RSI. Now, this did play out and finish playing out about 2 weeks ago, but you have to take into consideration the scale of these charts. This RSI divergence took like a month and a half to play out. This is very long-term RSI divergence, which in my opinion means that there really should be a lot more upside following that RSI divergence than just what we've seen right now. I still think this RSI divergence that we've stopped talking about is still in play because of how big it is. There's normally kind of a proportionality between certain technical indicators and the moves that follow them, and I really just don't think Bitcoin has seen enough bullishness to follow through and confirm that RSI divergence just yet. So keep that in mind while we continue doing the rest of our technical analysis. Furthermore, guys, MACD is looking very healthy right now. Now, you might point out that, Jeb, MACD is converging on itself in a bearish way. These two moving averages are coming together. These two lines down here, the MACD line, the signal line, are coming together. That looks like a bearish cross is happening. Jeb, why does that look so bullish? The reason it looks so bullish, guys, is because of two things. One, MACD is above the zero level. That's very important. That means that MACD has a lot more room to run while also not being so far above the zero level that it's going to be forced to correct anytime soon. The second thing is, when these two MACD lines are so far apart like this, it means that MACD really can't get a whole lot more bullish. It can only get so bullish before the market's going to go into consolidation and those two lines are going to start coming back together. With these two lines, the MACD line, the signal line, like I said, coming back together and converging, it allows for them to diverge even more moving into the next couple of weeks if Bitcoin does have a bullish move. Furthermore, guys, another thing I want to show you has to do with another moving average. It has to do with the 20. Let's go ahead and get our 200 and our 20 up, and you guys will see that we're looking at a golden cross of sorts coming up relatively soon. The 200 daily moving average is moving to the upside, so too is the 20. When these two moving averages cross, normally fireworks go off, guys, and big things happen in crypto. If we look back on the history here, guys, right there was a golden cross. Bitcoin went into a bull market. Right over here, there was a death cross right around the same place. The 50 death cross. Let's go ahead and bring that up, actually. You can see that the 50 and the 20 are normally crossing the 200 right around the same time. Right back over here, they both crossed around the same time. Boom, bull market. Right over here, they crossed bearish around the same time. Boom, bear market. Bull market confirmation all the way back here in 2012. It's an important technical indicator. It's an important chart formation, and it's one that you most certainly should be looking at. The 20 looks to be crossing the 200 within the next few days, and likely within the next 2 months, the 50 will be back above the 200 as well. That's a very bullish sign. One more thing I need to talk about before we start showing the flip side of this, because you guys know I can talk bullish all day, but there are bearish technicals as well. Let's go ahead and show you the shorts and the longs chart. Look at this, guys. Look at ever since July 2019, the shorts have been on the floor. What does that mean? Well, ever since July, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend. The reason the shorts are so low is because no one wants to bet against Bitcoin when everybody's been expecting a bottom recently. But especially over the last 3 weeks, shorts have been exceptionally low, down here between 4,000 to 6,000 shorts. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, bet against the shorts, bet against the longs, be contrarian, and normally I agree with that. But right now, I think the shorters are right. I think they are right to be wary of another crash. I think they are right to be expecting a new uptrend. So I'm actually going to agree with the vast majority of shorters in that there aren't that many of them right now. The same thing is true on the flip side, of course, with the longs. The longs are pretty high right now. It's not to such an extreme that the shorts are, but the longs have been gradually trending to the upside ever since July as people get more and more confident that the bottom is in. And one last thing I want to touch on before I finish up the technical analysis here is we're actually going to talk about news in the middle of the TA, unlike how we normally do it. Bullish for Bitcoin. China scraps plans to ban cryptocurrency mining. I saw someone post this in the Discord with the hashtag bullish because this is kind of a bullish thing for Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into it quite yet. But anyway, Bitcoin mining will not face a state crackdown in China. Authorities have confirmed in new official documents. China's National Development and Reform Commission has removed hashtag cryptocurrency mining from the list of industries they want to eliminate. Bullish for Bitcoin, someone commented. Now, I'm not going to stand around and say that I like that China's getting on board with cryptocurrency. I like it for their citizens, but personally, cryptocurrency is a very big benefit to someone's economy, and quite frankly, I don't want China to be adopting Bitcoin when the West is being slow about it because that gives them an advantage. But nevertheless, we're not here to get into geopolitics. This is a bullish thing for the price action of Bitcoin, at least in the short to medium term, if not in the ultra long term. Point is, guys, the technicals for Bitcoin and the fundamentals for Bitcoin are looking very good. But that brings us back to the original question of today's video. If the technicals and the fundamentals look so good, why this? Why is Bitcoin still trading sideways? Why have we not broken up? If Bitcoin is looking so good, why has Bitcoin not broken out yet? Well, guys, there's several reasons for that, but I want to bring up the first one, and that's simply this. Look at our VPVR. Look at this. I mean, look at how much resistance there is up here. Look at these levels over here. Bitcoin traded up here in between $9,500 and $1,200 for so long that we built a massive block of resistance right here. There's huge VPVR resistance sitting right above us, so the bulls know that if they try and break the market out, it's not going to go very far because there's so much resistance. I think what we're going to need to see is either a major news story come out like we saw on October 25th with President Xi Jinping getting behind Bitcoin and allowing Bitcoin to moon, or we're going to need to see a slow, gradual climb to the upside over the next couple of months as Bitcoin moves into the end of this decade. Nevertheless, guys, because of how bullish those technicals and fundamentals look, when Bitcoin does get through these VPVR levels, I really don't see a whole lot of barriers to Bitcoin going straight to $20,000. Over the last 6 months, Bitcoin has done something very important. It's proven that it can consistently trade above $8,000. It means that we've taken one of the first steps that we need in the staircase to $20,000. We've proven that we can trade up here and not have to keep coming back down to 6K for support. We've proven that we can move at least part of the way to $20,000, and now, hopefully in 2020, we're going to prove that we can finish the job. To all of you out there who are still very bearish on Bitcoin, I think what we saw on October 25th has proven us wrong because I was with you guys. The fact that Bitcoin has traded sideways here for the last 2 weeks has only further proven what I was thinking after that breakout, and that is that the bears are, at least for the time being, going into hibernation, and the bulls are starting to take control back, but it's going to be a gradual shift, guys. Bitcoin has been in a downtrend for 4, 5, 6 months. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of time. Of course, Bitcoin's not just going to blow the top off and moon straight through the ceiling. Sure, we traded sideways for 2 weeks, but at the same time, we moved 45% in the span of 2 days. Give it some time, have some patience, as I've talked about in so many videos lately, and use your wisdom that you've gained from these last 6 months in this market, last year in this market, however long you've been in the market. Use the lessons and the wisdom that you've gained, and maybe, even just maybe, use these next couple of weeks as Bitcoin trades sideways and hopefully continues gradually climbing to the upside to accumulate more Bitcoin for your investment portfolio, if that is in fact your prerogative. But anyway, guys, that's my analysis for the market. I've been gone for the last couple of days, so I haven't been able to say all of that, so I went ahead and threw it all into one video. Hopefully we got through everything in a concise manner. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy the video, like I said at the intro, make sure you hit that like button. It really does help out the channel when you do that, and I would be very appreciative if you did. And one last note, guys, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, please do watch yesterday's video. I think there's a very important lesson in there. In short, guys, make sure you're not sitting behind cryptocurrency markets 24/7. Make sure that you're going out and living your life and enjoying your life, and make sure you're living your life in a way that benefits other people. That's the moral of yesterday's video, and hopefully that's the moral of all of our videos here on the Crypto Jab YouTube channel. But anyway, guys, that is going to have to actually wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.